And we'll be live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Jessica Regan. I'm the founder of the 1111 movement. This is episode 2 of our 1111 movement Soul Tribe Live. Today, I am joined by our beautiful sister, Destiny Faye. Destiny is the creatrix of the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit and New Earth, New You Now Foundation. She is a visionary and channel, multi-modality therapist and medium, author and speaker. Her passion and mission is global and inner unity and sustainability. Destiny has been a spiritual nomad for 4 years, and she is currently on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, finishing off some new books, supporting clients and creating online events for a change. Today, we will be talking about the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit coming up in February and much more. So hello, Destiny. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Hello.
How are you?
I'm terrific. I'm enjoying the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, so where are you in the Sunshine Coast?
I am right on the cusp of Alexandra Headlands, Maroochydore and Budrum.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, had a bit of a mission. I rode the magical road trip. We ended up at Alexandria Heads there. So that's a special place for me.
Yeah, speaking of which, I did actually stay with the person you met at Alexandra Headlands.
Did you?
Yes.
How is he? How's he doing?
He's wonderful. He's
Awesome.
Adorable as ever.
Tell him I said g'day.
I will.
Random. Okay, so do you want to jump into the questions? I've got a couple of questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, what led you to create the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit?
Okay, so I've had to share this a few times, and I'm kind of like going to do the Cliff Notes version. So
Yep.
On my spiritual nomad journey of 4 years now, I think this would have been like about a year and a half ago. When I landed in Mexico, I had a lot of activations and I was doing a lot of fasting to be able to be more of a pure channel. And I just did this beautiful meditation one morning and I set this really strong intention. I think it was actually around the time of a full moon, synchronistically.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got this massive download because this intention was there's so many things I could be doing. There's so many things my hands are in, but what is my mission right now? What do I need to be doing right now? And I got this massive vision and download, very different from majority of what I get. And a portion of that was online events, bringing topics that aren't necessarily discussed enough, but topics that are kind of at the core root of what we need to shift. And one of them was around inner unity. And for me, the Divine Masculine and Feminine is about creating that inner unity within. So I originally started with the Global Solutions Summit for the New Earth. And then I eventually ended up pulling out the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit, the first event on Beltane, which is like a nature magic festival with the elementals and the fairies, and they celebrate Beltane. So that's when we hit off the first one. And I think that was about getting close to 2 years now. And yeah, it was so successful that we're now on our 3 coming up soon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how beautiful. So the Synchronicity and Magic Summit, was that number 2?
The Synchronicity and Magic Summit was the 3rd summit of New Earth, New You Now, which was the one that you were on.
Yeah,
and the second one was the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit.
Right, yeah.
But as far as the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summits, we've had 2 of them. We had 2 of them in the first year, and then we didn't have another one until 2019. So it's actually the event that sets off the year, and it actually has twice as many speakers. It's twice as big as all of the other events. So kind of like opening up for the year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be incredible. We're all looking forward to it. The 1111 movement is a proud sponsor of the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising Summit. Okay, so question number 2. What has been your greatest experience with finding inner unity?
Okay, that's a really good question. So my experience had been attracting a lot of relationships that were reflecting my imbalance internally. So they were reflecting my distorted masculine So I had quite a complex for a period of time where I really disliked men. Some of that came from my childhood, all of the distorted masculine figures that I had in my life. And I kind of had like this really foul taste in my mouth because of some of my relationships. And it wasn't that these guys weren't in general, like typically could be nice guys. It was just the distortion that was in the collective around the representation and expression of masculine energy. So when I kind of realized that that wasn't healthy for me, having such a, you know, negative view of men in general, which is not actually masculine energy, but just men in general. Yeah. I kind of went on this journey of wanting to rectify that, to reunite with, you know, my true soulmate or soul partner or twin flame or twin soul. There's so many definitions of what it is. But for me, the simplification is the person who I chose, if there is one, to spend my life with this incarnation. So whoever that person is that I chose, and that journey took me to different people and different experiences. I began learning about the androgynous nature of the soul, and that we have both masculine and feminine polarities, and that in order to attract our divine counterpart and a healthy, balanced relationship, it's really important that we first become what we want to attract. So for me, it was spending a lot of time in self-love and on my own. I spent a lot of time energetically in meditation, reconnecting to my feminine energy and my masculine energy and what they looked like. And when I first did, they were actually pretty much fighting. They were like, and then I began to see how my distorted feminine was reacting to things and was expressing herself through me, and my distorted masculine. So that became a daily commitment and ritual of bringing them back together and being able to get them to forgive each other, as though I was watching a movie of a man and a woman, or a masculine energy being, a feminine energy being, beginning to come back into unity. And it was really beautiful, because eventually they ended up in like this beautiful embrace, and it wasn't necessarily sexual, but it eventually became this tantric energy. And then when I landed in Hawaii, which was another activation point on my spiritual nomad journey, I went into meditation when I first got to Hawaii, and all of a sudden, like that, they were androgynous. So on their own, without any intention of mine other than just wanting to create unity, they had merged together, and the energy Hawaii and whatever that activated in me had brought them back together. And I was in Hawaii when I hosted the first New Earth, New You Now event and the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising event. So that was like I had done the inner work. I could be the space holder for that sort of event, because I'd begun a massive process of integration and unity within myself. And then I wanted to be able to share that and the wisdom that different people have around their journeys and around their expertise with more people. So that's kind of been how my journey had been. And previous to that, I focused a lot of external energy on wanting to create unity with people and spent a lot of time in community environments. But what I was seeing is, if that inner work's not done, there's always duality, and there's always that that battle that happens. And when it's happening in you, it begins to attract and manifest in the realities collectively outside of you as well.
That's right. So do you feel that there's a lot of confusion when it comes to the twin flame experience? I feel for us in the beginning, it wasn't such a popular fad, so to speak. We're being introduced to the twin flame idea. I feel there's a lot of confusion that people are seeking outside of themselves and believing that one person is their twin flame, so they're focused all their attention on this one person, and they're not realizing that it's the inner work that they have to go through, and it's hard work for that inside of you, your inner world, to reflect on the outside world, and then you'll attract what frequency you're emitting at that time where you're at. And if you want to come into union with your beloved, being in full inner union with your divine masculine and feminine is the first step.
Oh, I definitely agree. And I have a couple of other feelings around this sort of thing. And it's interesting that I'm not actually going to be sharing on the event myself. People always say to me, why don't you share on your event?
Yes, you have to. We've got to slot you in there somewhere.
Well, sometimes if spirit wants me to, it happens where someone's running late because it's a live event.
Yep.
There's at the moment, I think there's 45 give or take 45 speakers, but some of them are
They might have some Zoom issues or technology issues.
And I'm introducing the first day, and one of the hosts pulled out, so I might be hosting another day, and like things happen. So if Spirit wants me to, I always get a tap on the shoulder. Something will come up, or if I'm interviewing someone, you know, they're talking about a particular thing, and I'll share a piece of my experience. And I've been fortunate that I have so many friends in media and so many people getting themselves out there interviewing people that I know that my message still comes out. And a lot of what I feel will probably be put into the book that I believe will be getting published probably in 2020, and it's called The Relationship Illusion. So it shares a lot of that there. So it's been a book I've been writing for a while, but there's a lot of research backgrounds and history that's going to be going into the book. So it's going to take me some time to compile everything and then finish it, because I'm in the process of about 10 books at the moment. And that's like down the line. I still want it to be near the top, but it's kind of like down the line a little bit. So but I do believe that when it comes to these sorts of labels, the most important thing is keeping it really simple of what the experience is, rather than, is this person my twin flame? Or because there's a really amazing book that I read that resonated, and it's like, in a quantum world where, you know, things aren't linear and where things can be paradoxical, you know, you can have multiple twin flames, or you can have one twin flame, and you can be your twin flame, or you can have a physical counterpart. And the way that this book had explained that is, you won't have a physical reflection of that twin soul energy unless you connect with your twin soul that is yourself in the etheric realm. And when you've done that inner work, which I was talking about, the masculine and feminine energy, then and only then can they represent in this reality a mirror image of that in the physical, because there's the known and unknown realms, and they mirror each other. So unless you've got it in one realm, the unmanifest, it can't come into the manifest. So if that work's not done beforehand, and you're not in a position where you're completely content about when and how you meet this person, or how the relationship is going to unfold, or what the purpose of it is, then I believe people are going to be attracting a lot of experiences where there is a runner, or experiences where they can't merge. Because if you understand the sacred sexual union process and the ancient teachings of tantric union, and making yourselves become one with God and one with the divine, it's actually a very intense initiative alchemy, and people have to have done intense inner work. And they don't have to be 100% masters, but they have to be way on the way to have been mastering their mind, their body, and their soul, and been committed to doing that work. It doesn't mean that you can't have a happy and fulfilling romantic partnership. But I just don't think that everybody needs to be with, you know, the person they're going to merge with God with and become in unity consciousness in order to be able to have that. So if someone really just wants to have a romantic partner, I would say just get really clear. And I think use the full moon energy right now, because I did a global reading the other day for the full moon. And the energy that was coming through is a lot of people are going to either be having shifts in their personal relationships with their romantic partner, or they're going to be meeting new people. And if that's the case, I think that when it comes to meeting someone new and there's sparks, the question that I always ask is, do I want something romantic right now, even if this person isn't my life partner? Or do I want to learn lessons from these feelings around this person to clear karma, to prepare me for that person, and make the decision like that? I don't need to think, is this person a soulmate? Is this person a twin flame? Is this person a what? All I need to know is, if they're not the person that I'm going to spend majority of my life with, or that I chose to spend majority of my life with as my life partner, does it still benefit me and what I desire right now to be able to pursue something with them, and to see them as an individual, to see them as a soul, and to honor that, rather than, you know, trying to define and trying to be like, oh, well, they're not my twin flame, so, you know, I can't them, or they're not my soulmate, so I can't pursue anything with them. It is good to have boundaries, and it is good to have ideals and to have non-negotiables, definitely. But I think sometimes people show up on the path, especially rapidly, because that's been my experience. People who are soulmates and people who are, you know, just even without the label, just all sorts of different people I have this deep, meaningful connection with. And some of them I feel intuitively guided to have something romantic with, to learn lessons on a deeper level, because you see yourself better when you open up more. And usually a lot of us are very closed off in our hearts and need to heal a lot. So in order to open, we need to have a romantic exchange, which can be painful, but it's also showing us the parts of ourselves to heal, which then prepares us more for our life partner.
Yeah, that's right. Just while you're on this topic, do you feel that people are only just seeing to the point of like reunion or union with their beloved? Isn't the whole purpose of reuniting with our beloved so we can become creators of the new earth and create together and be in that frequency where it's complete unconditional love? And I just feel, for me personally, I went through the whole experience, but when I came out of it, I realized that I was the one, that I was, my own beloved. And the reason that the twins, have incarnated is to raise the frequency of the planet and to co-create heaven on earth. I just feel everyone's focused on their, finding this true love and it's going to be happily ever after. But really, we might reunite with them and then we might go our separate ways, or we might stay together, but we're here to create and we're here to anchor in some pretty potent frequencies. So how can we get the message through to the collective that it's not just about like reuniting with your beloved, it's because we're here to create the new earth? How do you think we can do that?
Well, I think the first thing is by being an example and being really specific in how we talk. But also an example is the best way as well, because at the end of the day, if you look at it from the quantum perspective, that we're all fractals of source, just focused in a different personality, so that source itself can actually get more data and information. When you begin to go internally and you begin to find unconditional love internally, which is the only way that you can emit that and feel that externally, you begin to connect more to soul family. You begin to connect more to fractal versions of yourself, like I feel you are of me. You begin to connect more to quote unquote twin flames, soulmates, so on and so forth. You just begin to see the connection of everything, and you begin to allow yourself to experience that we are all one, and to be able to embody that. But I think that the path in order to get that, and as well to be able to integrate, not just conceptually know that, because you can conceptually know something and talk about it and go on and on and on about it. But unless you're actually doing the work of integrating it and grounding that information, usually when you do, you don't really need to talk about it that much, because you're just at that frequency. Unless somebody asks you, then I guess it's different. But the answer would really be simple. It'd be go inside yourself, ground, set solid intentions, and have consistent practices that help you to grow your connection with yourself, with your heart, with your physical body, with your emotional, mental, and so on and so forth bodies, with your chakras. As you do that, you begin to know yourself. You begin to know the divinity that's within you. You begin to expand that, and you start to access a unity and a oneness consciousness. And people do in very small doses when they meditate. And that's why meditation, I think, is lifting up a lot of people, and it helps to de-stress, because we begin to access our true nature. We begin to access the truth of who we are. So I think by being an example of that is one of the best ways. And if somebody asks for advice about love externally, quote unquote, I usually say to them or ask them about their experience with themselves. How do they know that they're loving themselves? What do they do to love themselves? How do they know when they're not loving themselves? And then being able to see that picture of, where there might be a gap in their devotion. Because that's the thing. If you're not devoted to you, if you're not committed to you, then, you won't be able to attract a relationship where you're experiencing that, because the other person will be reflecting to you how you treat yourself. And I've seen this time and time again, no matter how much inner work I've done and how much connection and synchronicity there was with the person, as you've probably experienced as well, unless they usually still just reflect that. that part of you that, you know, that wounded child, that part of you that you've ignored, or that part of you that you haven't brought light and love to, or that you're still in the process of learning how to unconditionally love. And that doesn't mean that that person and you can't be together, and it doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. It just means that at that particular point in time, this particular person is in the teacher spot to reflect to you where you can do more inner work.
Yeah. So what's coming through, and I feel when I get back and after the summit as well, from my holiday, we could have a live where we talk about, because we seem to, in the community, we throw around all these terms like do the inner work, the shadow work and the light work and grounding and stuff. But some people don't, like, I didn't even know how to ground, you know. I didn't know what it meant. I kept hearing people say, oh, you got to ground, you got to ground, you got to ground. And I remember saying to Kat, like, how do I ground? You know? So I feel like we can say all these words, but maybe we, you know, another show we could do, but just briefly, how do you ground? Like, how do you personally ground?
That's a great question, because the one thing that people tell me when they haven't seen me in a while after my traveling, I'm not going to say go traveling, but that definitely might help if you're an ungrounded person, because I was very ungrounded when I got into spirituality again. Yeah. And I became very conscious. I was like off with the fairies, which is funny because I am very connected to them. But I went on a search for what are all the ways to ground myself and all the little tools I can use consistently to ground myself. And that means that when energy comes through, you're not going to burn yourself out, and it's not going to go poof and stay unintegrated. So I'll give you 5 ways to feel more grounded. First off is probably the easiest and best because it's free. And that is the closest place you can get to put your feet on natural ground. So dirt, grass, and, you know, ocean if you have sand. Something that is natural, not concrete, something that's natural. Yeah. Barefoot and stand and put your feet on it, even if it's for just 2 minutes to 5 minutes. If you do that regularly, that is a really great way to ground, because the earth has a magnetic field and we're connected and we have chakras in our feet. When we do that more, we can also consciously set the intention that we open up our feet chakras to be able to connect to the energetics of the earth. It's also called earthing. They have a specific term. When you do that, it's called earthing. Okay. Number 2, you can actually listen to a guided grounding meditation, or you can do a sort of a grounding meditation, even if you do it on the ground, like where you put your feet, makes it even better. And you visualize yourself growing roots into the earth. There's other sorts of grounding meditations you can listen to, but that's a really good one. If you can't get anywhere near the earth, do this instead. 3, there are certain crystals that help that are very grounding. Shungite is one of them. Onyx is another. A lot of black or brown and also some red crystals are very grounding, because the red ones are very connected to the root chakra. When you put yourself into the earth as well, when you're like letting yourself have roots, imagine your root chakra anchoring. What I do when I do it, I have a particular meditation that I use every day that I got from a particular book, but I let my heart chakra, my solar plexus chakra, and my root chakra and my feet chakras all connect to the earth with roots. And then I also have a pillar that I let go through me to connect to the crystal core at the center of the earth, because we're always connected. We actually have a collective chakra that's there. So it's just connecting our internal chakras to that chakra. So another thing you can do with those crystals, specifically shungite, and this is something I do, which is so easy, that helps me every day, is put it in water. It's a non-soluble crystal, so make sure you don't put any soluble crystals in water, because it's probably not a good idea. You'll end up swallowing the particles, and I don't recommend that. But if you put shungite or onyx or something that's solid, or black obsidian, into your bottle of water and you drink the water, water is an absorbent energy. It will absorb the frequencies and you'll be drinking the frequencies. Water itself is grounding, so drinking lots of water. And then number 5 would be certain foods that are a root plant, like vegetables that grow in the earth. If you don't feel grounded, eat more sweet potatoes, eat more beetroot, eat more things that actually grow from the earth. Like most veggies do, but like usually it's like the root veggies as well. So
carrots, parsnips, potatoes.
Yeah, so all of those things. So they're easy things that most people can have access to, that I think is very grounding and that I regularly do. But if you have some extra money and you want to, you can also buy grounding mats that you can lay on or you can have in your bed. And it's kind of like a heat blanket, like, you know, the size of like someone's body, if it's like a towel, or you can get bigger ones. And online you can order grounding mats that help ground you. So that's another way as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. All right, so my next question is, why should people join this event?
Why should they join the event?
Why should they join the event?
Well, other than it's going to be an epic event, well, if they are curious about love, if they're curious about unity and unity consciousness and oneness consciousness and balance, if they're interested in expanding their passion and sexuality in their life, if they're interested in having better relationships, not just romantic, but otherwise, then they would be getting a lot of information from this event. So maybe I should just share my screen and show. This might answer it better. So, we have, give or take, 45 speakers here. And you have things like people talking about the sacred inner marriage, people talking about Tantra and divine masculine energy. We have people channeling divine light beings, talking about balance and what's happening in the cosmos. We have people talking about healing your inner child, people talking about the negative effect of linking a man to the masculine and woman to feminine, rather than we both have these energies. There is couples that are talking about Tantra, talking about twin flames, talking about divine unions and karma. There is people talking about the sexual anatomy of the vagina.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of these people are authors of many amazing books too. We have people talking about how to dance with the divine, people talking about how to change and improve your relationship, people talking about how to stop slut shaming, people talking about unking, how to use unking for the divine masculine and feminine. You know, there's so many different topics that we have people talking about and covering, you know, on the spectrum of the divine masculine and feminine. And to me, that's like unity itself. Both the divine masculine and the feminine is unity itself. It's about the rising and the merging of those energies. And we have so many different topics that we have people talking about. We have Mark Gaffney, who's the writer of A Return to Eros. It's one of my favorite books, and that actually goes into the depths of how I think a lot of the concepts are related to Arabic and Hebrew Tantra, which is very different from a lot of the traditional Tantra. And it's how to bring Eros back to every aspect of your life rather than just sexuality. So, so there's so many different things and so many different amazing people. We have Amy Satori, who's a sponsor as well. She's going to be talking about true love. How do you know if you've got true love? We have priestesses who are like ordained.
What's Kevin going to be talking about?
Whoa, Kevin is going to be talking about. Ooh, let me see if I can find Kevin.
He's a rock star.
Yes, so here we go again. So I'll go through these. So we have Peter Fay. He's talking about the Christ and the Magdalene energy. He's also talking about that with funnily enough, someone called Yeshua talking about the Christ energy. I actually know both of them personally. I taught out in Oregon in the US. Yeah. And we have Anya Sophia. She's talking about the importance of women's and men's circles and the importance of moving on from there. She's actually in France. She actually wrote the book, The Sacred Sexual Union, one of my favorite books. We have Tazik Hanashash. He's talking about the Me Too movement, which is the extension of the Me Too movement. And it's actually very powerful. I was involved with the Me Too movement for a while. Diana Harris, who you're going to be interviewed on Soul Speak by her next month. She's talking about the collective awakening and divine partnership. I'm just trying to scroll down to Kevin. Amy Satori talking about true love. Elizabeth talking about the spiritual anatomy of the vagina. So this is actually just on the event page, guys. So if you want to see all of this yourself, if you go to the Divine Masculine and Feminine Rising page on Facebook, you actually get to see all of this stuff in events. That was my live with Diana about the event. Julie, Sacred Union Dance of the Divine. I'm just going to try and scroll down here to Kevin. Oh, here's an interesting one. Bethan Carr, who's in England, working with the elementals to balance and shift into divine masculine and feminine energies. Love the elementals. Hannah Bora Baby, Tantric Activism, Bridging Spirituality and Conscious Action. Beautiful. Sacred Marriage Within, Unification of Masculine and Feminine. Beverly is talking about attract your soulmate through sexual polarity. I actually met Beverly the other day in person. It was lovely. Zoe Bell, embracing your skin, stopping slut shaming and empowering a rising of kings and queens. Adam Smith, Susie, planetary overview, how to maintain balance. I think soon we have Kevin, dancing with our divine differences in relationships.
Bless you.
Whoops. Okay, I think in a moment we have Kevin.
Drum roll, please. Did you realize we've got a 444 in our ID call today?
Yeah, I noticed that.
It's another 444 day for me.
Yeah, there's lots of angels. It's the first number I ever saw, the first sync number I ever saw, and someone told me angels, and I kept, every time I saw it, I thought of my mum because she was one of my angels.
Yeah.
And I actually have a number plate. I got a personalized plate that says 4442. So this is Kevin. He's going to be talking about the state of masculinity, polarity, tantra, relating, and alchemy in relationships.
Okay.
Beautiful. So I think that was one of the first posts. Oh, Josh Passmore, we met in Mexico. This is called The Meta of the Masculine and Feminine in Whole Systems Thinking. That's going to be very different from a lot of things. So yeah. So
right.
If they're interested in any of those topics, then they should definitely come. And I'm going to be posting below the video the registration link and the Facebook page where we will be live streaming for the event.
Yep. Yeah, so that's my next question was like, what details do people need to be a part of it? So you've got the links and stuff you're going to put up for people to be able to find you.
I'm about to post the links. I'm about to post the link to the page.
Yeah. Also on my page and in the movement as well, we share it every day for our members because it's going to be epic. And I'm going to miss the first couple of days. I don't get back until the 3rd of February maybe. So
and then you're going to be on the panel, aren't you?
Yeah, so I think I'll have to choose the last day to do that because
the 3rd of February is actually only the second day in Australia. It starts on the 1st, but it starts on the 1st in US, which is the 2nd here. So there'll still be the 4th and the 5th that it will be running.
Yeah, I have a feeling I get back on the 4th, but I'll just confirm with you later. That's okay.
Okay, that's fine. There's some pretty cool different topics that are on those days. But yeah, I just posted the registration link and the Facebook page where we'll be going live so that anyone interested can. And I don't think that we have any comments from anyone.
No, it's there's only a couple people viewing. I've shared it in the movement.
Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, you said you shared it, did you? Or
I just shared it probably 5 minutes ago on the movement.
Okie dokie.
But I'll share it as a watch party in the movement, and then I'll just tag you in, and if people have questions, they can ask there as well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, I'll just quickly show people as well the process when they go to register, what happens, because that'd be cool to do. I haven't done that So when you click on the registration link, it takes you to this page and it gives you details, So for everybody who's wondering, if you watch this, to watch it live for the 4 days that we're live streaming, you can watch it for free if you register. For the first 48 hours of replays after the event is finished, you get to watch it for free. Now, if you don't get the chance to do that, there will still be ways for you to watch it afterwards to get the downloads of the meditations, because there'll be 8 meditations happening throughout the event. It's an 11 US minimum or up donation, and you'll get all of the meditation audio sent to you. For $22 US up, you actually get all the replays if you didn't get to watch it or you didn't get to watch all of the event, because most people who are watching it probably won't get to watch all of it. It's up to 8, like I think it's just under 8 hours per day. So a lot of people want to sit watching it. I'm very tempted to do that because it's going to be so awesome, but I know I can rewatch it. And then if you're wanting to get all of the videos cropped, so you'll get the introduction, you'll get the guided meditation audio and video, and you'll get all of the individual speakers and then the panel all cropped so you can watch the short amount intermittently. It's a $55 US donation. And then you also get, if you donate, there is special offerings and VIP discounts for people who do that from our speakers. So there is particular things that are freebies, and there are particular things that are very highly regarded discounts and offers that people who donate more than $55 US get. There are some freebies that if you're a free viewer and you're registered, you get. So make sure to register anyway if you get the freebies, and so that you make sure to get all of the details of everything that's occurring. So we have all the details here. And the way to register is you click register, and then it comes up with options. So if you just want the freebie, you click the freebie and you put your email address in. Or if you want to donate $11 to get the meditations, or $22 or up to get the replays, or if you want the replays and the meditations and you want them cropped so it's easier to view, then you put them in here for that. And you pay via PayPal or Visa. And then after the event finishes, the week after the event finishes, you receive an email with all of the things that your VIP level accesses for you. There is also a really cool video that we have. I don't know if it's going to load, but for those, we can see if we can get the video that one of our amazing sponsors, Gregory Jones of InfusedLights.com, created for us. So I'm not sure if this is going to work, but let's see if the audio works for you guys.
Yeah, I can hear it.
To create heaven on earth, we do need to have the balance of the masculine and feminine. We want you to know how far you have come as humans.
This sense of how are we sensing the world? When you look at it, like you need to have a balance to family. You need to be a fully functioning creator. All of us, when we're talking about any of these things, we have to always keep in mind that these realities that we're experiencing ourselves.
Yeah.
It's so good to see so many familiar faces, and especially, you know, brothers and sisters that have been on this journey, you know, for a long time. You know, we've been doing this together for a while, and now we're all coming together for this. And from the deepest part of my heart, my core, I'm really grateful that you are doing this and you're connecting everyone together so we can share the information to the world about, you know, how to find love again within ourselves and within everybody, humanity. So it means the world. We know how much hard work, you know, you put into this. So thank you.
No, it's my pleasure. There's one last video that I want to share, but I just wanted to say thank you as well. And I can see you doing a lot of what I'm doing. I just wanted to say that. I know that you're kind of just starting out with all of interviewing and stuff, but I know that you'll pick up on it really quickly. And
yes, thank you for being, it's a learning experience, you know, and it's kind of come full circle, hasn't it, from when I was on your Synchronicity and Magic Summit, and then I was on Kat's Spread the Love, and you guys are my first two, you know, people that I'm having on the segment. So I'm really grateful. So thank you again. But yeah, I do see myself doing it as well, because I'll just quickly say I have the most epic soul tribe, the most amazing people. And of course they want to be interviewed by me. So yeah, definitely a lot of interviews coming up. I'm probably going to have to do 2 a week at this stage, you know, to even just cover the whole admin team in the first couple of months. So for the movement. So yeah, I'm excited about it. So thank you for supporting me on this.
my pleasure. And I just wanted to do a shout out to Diana because she's on.
Oh, hello, Diana. Yes, thank you. I love you.
If anyone has any questions, put them below, but we have the links to register and we have the links to the Facebook page. So just before we go, unless somebody has any questions, so comment below if you have any questions. I'm just going to share at the moment the video that I made for day 1, because it shares a little bit about the speakers, more about the speakers on day 1, and that way you can just get an idea of what our schedule is going to be. And I think the video is pretty cool. I made this video. It's a bit funny. I had some fun making it. I'll just say that.
Cool.
And it's pretty short too. And you know what, Jess? It's exactly 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Of course it is.
I didn't do that on purpose, but yeah.
Love it.
So for those as well who are interested, the event is actually from the 1st to the 4th of February, and they're US dates. So in Australia and the side of the world, it's the 2nd to the 5th of February. And the reason for that is so it goes both sides of the world. It actually goes through the 2-2 portal. So the 2nd of February, it will be happening in both locations. And that's just the reason, because 22 is very connected to soulmates. It's connected to balance energy. So that's why I chose to have it on February the 2nd. It was guided by spirit. So just so everyone knows. So go register if you haven't already. And this is day 1. Yeah, so that's day 1, and soon I'll be releasing days 2, 3, and 4, so people can do that, and there will be some.
You're going to give Greg a run for his money. That was amazing. That was awesome.
It's just a very generic video editing thing, and I put the quotes together, and he's going to make a better video with the quotes though, because he's really epic at doing that. But
He's
a fun little one. Because
amazing. Yeah.
that I'm putting with those videos actually has a link to all of the speakers' bios. So when people go look at the video, it's also an organizational thing. They can check
Yeah.
people's bios after they watch the video, and they know exactly the order of how things go. So it's kind of like my fun organization system that I have going, and I'm making it just really fun. And I had fun with like the little special effects on that video, but I don't have an official proper editing program yet, but I will be getting one. I've only just got another laptop after not having one for over a year. So I'm super excited. And I know Greg's got a lot on his plate, but I love him so much for all the work that he's done.
Oh, he's amazing. He always finds time for us, his soul family. So if anyone ever needs a video created for their business or their groups or their pages, Gregory Jones of Infused Lights is incredible. So we highly, highly recommend him. So, yeah. Okay. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
Only that I love you and that I love everyone, and going with is always the way. Actually, the one last thing that I did want to share with people is because it's on the full moon, and I actually had a friend of mine. I'm actually now have the place that she had before. She messaged me, she goes, "What's your advice for the full moon?" So I have some advice, because people are like, oh, there's so much energy shifts, and if you're a water sign, or you just if you're an Aquarius and we're going into Aquarius energy, you're a water sign because you're very connected to the moon. The things that I would suggest is use some of the grounding techniques that I suggested earlier. Make sure you create sacred space on your own to write down the things that you're wanting to shift and let go of, so you have clarity with intention, and to write down the things that you want to call in. Be really specific. So say maybe the category of love or finance or whatever area of your life you feel needs the most attention and energy, and write down what you would like, and write an affirmation out of what you write that you can say every day to retrain yourself, and write down 1 or 2 activities that you can aspire to do regularly that will help you to actively do that. One of the things that I do with full moons is write down what I'm wanting to manifest, and I also write a divine decree. So what a divine decree is I write at the top, divine decree. This is my divine decree, and I write it as to the universe and to my higher self and to the 100% pure white light collective conscious field, and my guides. And then I write it out formally, a letter of what I require to fulfill my mission. So first I figure out what I need. So from this full moon to the next full moon, what is it that I require to fulfill my mission as a light worker or somebody here on earth wanting to make a difference in the world, and write down what I require. If it's food, if it's a place to stay, if it's something to make you feel good, if it's space to create, to be able to do more fun things, to enliven your soul, if it's the people that are around you to kind of give you a break, whatever it is you feel that you need, you write that down in this divine decree. And at the end you write, by this divine decree, and so it is done. And then you write your name and you sign it. And then I usually read it throughout the month, and I fold it up and I sometimes sleep on it. And also a good thing to do is around the full moon is to cleanse yourself. If you have sage, if you have Palo Santo, if you can have a bath, if you can go to the ocean. I was talking about this on my live reading the other day, which is on the spiritual events directory page. If you want to go have a look at it, I did a tarot reading, an oracle reading on the full moon. And
I did watch that. Yeah.
So it says going to a sacred place to ground. If there's any place close, people are like, where's a sacred place near me? I'm like, okay, if there's somewhere with little people, lots of forest and lots of water and lots of elements, that's a sacred place. It doesn't need to be Stonehenge. Just somewhere that feels really good and really peaceful. And if you want to take crystals or sage and maybe go into a bit of a meditation and do some journaling. Or if it's just your space and you have a sacred space, maybe do a grounding meditation, write down some intentions and have a bath, or if not, do some cord cutting and have a shower. There's a great meditation on YouTube that Doreen Virtue did. If you just type in Doreen Virtue meditations, there's a Hay House meditation for cutting cords that's really good. And being able to have a shower and imagine and say that you're being purified by 100% pure white light. So the journaling and getting clear in your intentions helps with your mentality. The grounding helps with your physical body, and then getting connected to the water and doing the cleansing helps with your emotional body. So that just helps to align you. Or doing chakra meditations, putting crystals on your chakras, and being really gentle and kind with yourself. They're the sorts of things that I suggest people do. Realizing as well, if you're aware of something that you're resistant about, write down what you're resistant about and set an intention that you're going to let go of that resistance. Because whatever resistance you have, if it's to how a person treats you, if it's to something around money, if it's to something around a relationship, like I'll give you an example as something that came up with some of the readings that I did the last couple of days, was feeling trapped by the idea of a relationship. Being a free-spirited air sign myself, I know that concept has come up for me a lot, where I struggle to commit at times because I felt almost trapped by the concept of an old paradigm relationship. And if I wasn't sure it was going to be a new paradigm way, I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to feel suffocated. So if you know that you have something like that, as an example, write it down and set the intention that you're ready and capable of letting go and surrendering that, and then maybe burn it. I wouldn't do it with everything, but maybe pick the one thing that you feel the most resistant to that might be blocking you from what you want. So
okay, well, that's beautiful advice. Awesome. Thank you, sister.
My pleasure.
Well, okay, I feel that we've come to an end. It is 7:10. Ever since Ash and I connected, it's always the 1s and 7s that are really standing out to me lately. And
I saw them all the time, even before I met him. And you know, me and him are born on the same day, 1 year, 1 hour, and 13 minutes apart. It'd be funny if
it's amazing.
13 minutes apart, but it's 13 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We've got such a beautiful tribe and family, don't we? I love all of us. I'm so excited for the future. I'm so excited for now, I should say, because we're just in the now moment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, cheers. Thank you.
Shout out to Erin, who is watching live at the moment. She said hello. So hey to Erin.
Hi, Erin.
We'll talk to you soon. Lots of love, Beauty. Thank you so much for your courage, and thank you so much for sharing your light and your space with us.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. And thanks for being here, everyone. I don't even know what camera to look in anymore. There's one there. There's one there.
Thank your parents as well. And I love that thing behind you. It was on my bedspread when I lived in Mexico.
I know. How amazing is it? It was on my wall, but I brought it down here. And speaking of sacred space, they've got sacred space, like it's right across the road. I'm going to go and watch the moon rise above, like come up over the ocean and be all around palm trees and stuff. It's going to be amazing.
Aww.
So
enjoy.
I know, I'm really lucky.
Photos.
Yeah, I will. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk soon.
Love you.
Okay. Love you too. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye.